If you're going to Sweden, you probably wanna see Stockholm. Or maybe Stockholm is the only place on your list. I'm not the biggest fan of the city when it comes to the features that you require a capital of a country to have. For example, Stockholm doesn't have the greatest architecture. First you go to Rome and then to Stockholm and you're like, oh my god, did Napoleon been here and brought everything back to Paris like he usually did? Maybe I'm exaggerating. Sweden is just too far north to have any artists, and if there were any artists, they went to Paris. Okay, let's take a look at some places that make Stockholm special, shall we? This is something amazing for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're interested in Swedish history, Navy history, or history in general. In the museum we can admire the only ship from the 17th century that has survived until today. Its name is Vasa, and around it 9 exhibitions were arranged, where we can look at different artifacts like bread in a bag. The admission fee is 130 kronor for adults and it's totally worth it. Vasa was built at the command of Gustav II Adolf. It was supposed to be the greatest warship on Baltic Sea of its time. It left the Stockholm harbor in August 1628, or at least it was supposed to leave, because one blast of wind made it collapse to the side, water poured inside, and within minutes the ship was on the seabed at the depth 32 meters. Its designer, Henrik Hubertsson, built a number of successful warships to the Swedish crown before, so he wasn't new at the subject. Just Vasa was something new in terms of size and armament, so it was not possible for him to make the correct calculation. Vasa was just too big and too heavy to stay underwater. Vasa remained under the water for 333 years. In 1956, it was discovered by Anders Franzen. 5 years later, it was dug up and the restoration process began. It's still the biggest challenge for everyone working at the museum, to keep the ship at its best condition for as long as is possible. So rush there, you never know when another historical item will be gone. After the visit in the museum, my friend said something that I agree with in 100%, that he was so astonished by the human mind. First, the mind that managed to build something magnificent like that, and then the mind of the people who managed to discover it, restore, and present it to the people. And if you decide to walk to Vasa Museum, you get to see all those fantastic views. Of course you're gonna be there. It's the old town and it's okay. You have some nice views, you have the royal castle, you have some charming streets, but in terms of charm and style, there are some way better old towns across Europe. And almost all royal palaces that I have visited made better impression. I'm not saying don't go there, but you know, it's so crowded, and save yourself some time and don't stick around there just because it's the old town. The only thing that is located there, and I can recommend, it's Livrustkammaren. Okay, that was weird. You go there because it's funny and for free. And it's the oldest Swedish museum. I guess it means something. So, cool object, a horse from Gustav II Adolf from the Battle of Lutzen. Cool and funny, baby walker of Gustav IV Adolf. Cool, his parents' wedding costumes, they are really amazing. And many more paintings, many more items, many more costumes. They are all behind the glass, so it's impossible to take a good picture, so sorry for the quality, but you still can look at them, right? And while you're around the old town and you like medieval times, you might go and check the medieval museum. It has really cool location, it's underground, has some really cool stones on the display, like 16th century wall of the town. Has some really cool stones, like the 16th century wall, and it's for free. The museum focuses on the development of Stockholm and its inhabitants. For my taste, it has too much of reconstructed objects and you don't see many original ones, but on the other hand, they are people who enjoy visiting museums where houses and mannequins are made in a way to resemble the past. So if you're one of those people, off you go! This is such a cool surprise. I'm not an army/war historian, but this place is so cool and it's for free. It's located a bit out of the strict center, but it's still a walking distance from the old town. The museum presents the theme war from very different perspectives. It's not just about to show the conflicts that Sweden was involved, but also to show the life of the soldiers, life of their families, and what was happening during the peacetime with the soldiers. It also contains information about modern Swedish neutral policy. It's really well arranged, it's not stuffed with text, so you can either get a glimpse of the history of war or you can reach out to all the details. Either way, 1 hour is not enough. I had to mention this royal burial place in this video. I know it's not for everyone, but it's very close to the old town and the admission fee is only 40 kronor. This church was built in the late 13th century and it's the only church in Stockholm that survived the Reformation. So the kings from medieval times, early modern age, 19th century and 20th century are buried there. It's nothing spectacular in terms of architecture, but is a place of great symbolic value. About the history of the church, I wrote a text to which I put a link in the box below. That's it from me, thank you for watching. Remember that you can check my text about Sweden, I put all the informations in the box below. Share your opinions about Stockholm, what do you think of it? And the most important, have you found any good place with food there?